There were times I was lost, dark had fear, couldn't see through the rain. In the end it was clear, hit the fan. I was more than one man who was there to lend a hand. Together we'd stand, always at my back, my guardian soldier. Team pulled together, united we conquer. Blessed is he who in the name of charity carry me when I'm weak, straight through the valley of darkness. Pitch blackness, the heartless, regardless, fear couldn't part us. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. We ride, 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 ride.
Welcome back, Moto fans. There is still a little while before the Aussie Moto season kicks off, but there's a bit going on locally and overseas. So I thought I'd get More Than Moto Az Minerds on the line to delve into some of the silly season storylines, the movers and the shakers, where things have been confirmed, some of the rumour mill things floating around, and see if we can make sense of what we might see in the season ahead. Before we get into it, a big thank you to our partners for this episode, Fastline Suspension, Southeast Pools and Iro Helmets. And don't forget to get online and order yourself one of our 2026 motocross wall calendars, brought to you by Ultimate Toy Haulers, Fastline Suspension and our January sponsor, Wolf Building Compliance. Now, before we move on, let's get Az on the line. Welcome to the show, Az.
Thanks for having us again, Pete. Glad to be back again for another year.
Always a pleasure, mate. How was your Christmas and New Year's?
She was pretty quiet. I just had a lot planned, but sort of ended up just taking a bit of a break. It was 2025 ended up being a very, very long year and a little bit more work than I planned. So I took a bit of a break, just chilled out at home, and then got the boy on the bike a few times around the golf, and that was about it, really.
I saw you got on a bike yourself too.
Yeah. I spent 2 days riding. I thought it'd been a while. I better get back on, and I sucked more than I thought I was going to. I think by the end of the second day, I sort of felt like I knew what I was doing again. But 2 or 3 straights later, and my unfit body just didn't want to hang on. So it was good to get on for a ride, that's for sure.
It hurts physically and it's humiliating.
The first day was humiliating. I can't believe I just about forgot how to ride a bike. It wasn't great, but it was good to get back in, no matter what. It was good to have a bit of a ride, and I'll do it again in 12 months' time, probably.
You got to get out more. I've been trying to make the most of it over the break. I think I rode 3 times in 9 months. So I've been trying to get out, but we've had some weather here that's just been appalling. Like, it's either stinking hot and the tracks are closed, it's either raining and the tracks are closed, or it's been too windy and the tracks are closed.
Yeah, it's not an easy time of the year to try and get out and ride, though. It's frustrating. You look at all the boys, it seems like up in Queensland and New South Wales, everybody seems to be motoing along. So maybe we need to move, mate.
Oh, I could definitely move to Queensland. I love the heat, so I don't mind riding in the heat. But the rain and the wind, they can go heave, I think.
Yeah, I don't like the heat, so I'm stuffed no matter what.
Yeah. Well, we haven't sort of had too much going on locally, but the AMA Supercross has kicked off. We've had the first 2 rounds. Have you been watching it?
I have. The first round, obviously A1, you're super keen. I was got up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Last weekend of my holidays, and watched all the watched that all live. Went back, had an hour's nap, got back up, and then watched all the racing live. So I was well and truly entrenched in it.
That's keen. That's very, very keen. I must admit, I went riding that day and then watched it when I got back.
That's what we've done this Sunday. I think it's going to be the problem for the rest of the season is we'll be out riding Sunday mornings and then coming back and watching in the afternoon, which is the perfect day out, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. What are your thoughts, from the first 2 rounds? Obviously, Jet's out, so it's kind of anyone's game at the moment. But any surprises, any disappointments? Yeah, what were your sort of thoughts from the first couple of rounds?
Oh, I guess obviously the first round, the big surprise was Mr. Prado. He's jumped out of the box and come out. I think he surprised everybody. I don't think anybody was expecting that. I think we're back to more of what we expect to see him this weekend with his, what did he finish? 13th on the weekend, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or 12th. Yeah. But no, not too many surprises. I thought Roxon would come out early and be fast, and he has been. Tomac, we knew from World Supercross that if he felt comfortable on the day on the KTM, he'd be quick. I think it actually hasn't been as surprising as I really thought.
Sexton
done what Sexton does.
Yeah.
He crashed, fastest qualified, then crashes at the opening round, and then hits the gate and was probably the quickest on track on the weekend until probably the last couple of laps where he faded a bit. But to go from last to 4th in that field is it's an impressive ride.
Yeah. See, I wasn't so surprised about Prado. I mean, he starts back to what he was known for. I think I believe I read a statistic somewhere that he had whole shot 40% of his MXGP races. Like he's got the highest percentage of whole shots of any rider ever in MXGP. So, to be getting out front, winning those heat races and getting ripper starts is no surprise. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he would be better on the Euro bike. I think, not to take anything away from the Cowie, but it obviously didn't suit him. But nobody rated him this year. And I was hearing the same things, especially around here, about Tomac. No one was rating that Tomac would come out and be as good as he is. Like, they were all saying he'd be a sort of 4th, 5th place guy. I was hearing he's too old. But, mate, he's come out and gone 1-1.
Yeah, and I think what he showed in World Supercross, he showed he still had the speed. There's 2 rounds he done. Obviously, he threw the paddle tire away, which has helped a bit. But no, I actually thought Tomac and especially Roxon would be the favourites, especially in the early rounds. Well, Tomac is not traditionally a quick start of the season, but I knew he had Kenny's pace, and I thought Kenny would be the one to beat for the first 2 rounds, and he's well and truly been up there as well. I think maybe Webb's been a bit of a surprise with how bad he's been doing so far.
Definitely. That I hadn't even thought of him, but I was touting him early that he would do much better than he has.
Yeah, especially after jumping back staying on the 25 model bike, you thought he would have come in comfortable and ready to go, but he's had a bit of bad luck and a few things not quite go his way. But yeah, he hasn't been the Webb that's been charging through the field.
Yeah,
I think it's been left up to his teammate Cooper, who's been coming from the back of the field all the way up to 6th in both races.
The other thing that has surprised me a little bit too is how well, obviously, I'm going to caveat this one with the crash with Justin Barsha, but how well the Ducatis have done.
Yeah, no, Ferrandis has looked really good. I think he would have been, even if he'd stayed on the Honda, he would still be in the same position he is right at the moment. So it says a lot about that bike.
Yeah, first 2 rounds, first real Supercross races ever to come out and do what he's done. And even Barsha was looking fantastic before. Obviously, it all went bad.
Yeah, the heat race, they went 4-5 or 3-4 in their first heat together.
Yep.
So, no, they were looking good, yeah. Ferrandis has gone 9-9 to start the season. And I think the other one was Joey Savacci's ride on the weekend.
That was unreal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I think we've all been waiting to see him ride like that in a full field, because he's always had the pace.
Can you imagine how excited your Reeve would have been?
Yeah, he would have been loving it.
For sure. What about in the 250s?
250s, I think it's sort of been how we expected pace-wise. I think the top 3 are the 3 quickest riders on track. Obviously, Kitchen's doing Sexton things.
It's a Cowie thing. It's a Cowie thing.
It looks like a Cowie thing at the moment.
But it has been especially on the 250s, but it's been a Cowie thing for quite a few years. I mean, they talk about it all the time, the Cowie curse.
Yeah, they had Pro Circuit. When was the last time Pro Circuit won a title? It's been, I wouldn't even know how many years it's been, but probably 5, 6, 7 years maybe?
Yeah. It's definitely getting there.
But yeah, both the riders, obviously, Cameron on the weekend looked good getting second. Kitchen's come from the back of the field. I can't believe he nearly ended up on the podium on the weekend.
Yeah.
To go down the first corner, one more lap, he could have finished second.
Yeah. I was stoked to see, I love Cameron McAdoo, like to see him put some good races together and finish on 2 wheels.
It's always good to see. And Heimer's having a good run as well, though. He went a little bit backwards after that massive save on Saturday.
Yep.
It was funny watching, not funny watching him save that, but seeing him go over the bar, I was sitting next to Jaden's. Jaden's looked at me going, "Did you see that? Daddy was changing up gears with the throttle wide open." Trying to get that back up. Really? That's what he was doing.
We were talking about that. I was watching it with a mate that rides as well. And that presence of mind to do that in that moment so quickly, like that was pretty damn impressive to open the throttle, get your foot under the gear shifter, shift up, the way he threw his weight forwards and then back to try. It's easy when you're watching it in slow-mo, but that was in a fraction of a second, like the reaction time to realise that was happening and react to it in time to make a change that actually stops you from crashing. Like these guys are on a different level.
Oh, completely different level. And then to be able to pull up before the corner as well and not whiskey throttle over the berm, and just incredible all around. It was scary but great to watch all in one motion.
As to your question before, 2017 with Justin Hill was the last time Pro Circuit Cowie won a championship.
9 years.
Yep. And Cian Cerullo had one after that in outdoors, but yeah, that was the last time they won a Supercross championship. So it's getting there for a team that is one of the most winningest teams in Supercross history. Yeah, not have won a title in 9 years. And really haven't even looked that close.
No, and it's looking shaky already, considering their two best riders are probably on the West Coast.
Yeah. So two controversial things in the Supercross racing. First of all, Chase Sexton running into the back of Mitchell Harrison. What's your thoughts, and who gets the blame pie?
Well, when I first seen it, I put all the blame on Sexton. We weren't watching that live. I was at the track. It come up on Instagram. I looked, just like, what is Sexton doing? And then you sort of see it from another angle. You sort of see
Mitchell
Harrison coming out of he's just pulled out of the pits. And I think today even Harrison admitted that was his fault. He should have been paying more attention as he was pulling out of that lane.
Yeah.
To make sure nobody was coming. So I think he has taken most of the blame pie for that. But at the same time, it looked like Sexton had no idea he was there at all until the last second.
Yeah, well,
maybe you questioned Sexton's peripheral vision.
Mate, I put 99% of that on Chase. Like, I'm a Chase Sexton fan, so this isn't, Chase Sexton hate or anything like that. But I put 99% of that blame on Chase Sexton. I mean, that could have been a downed rider, could have been a medic, could have been a tough block, could have been a skid steer on the track. Like, you got to watch where you're going.
Yeah, I guess he's on a heater, so he's probably come out of the corner before, looked up, known nobody's on that straight, and just hooked into that next corner.
Yeah.
Not expecting anybody to be down or crash because there was nobody on that straight.
And he probably wasn't on a heater in the lead up. So if Harrison's looked up, he's probably seen Chase cruising that corner.
Mate, yeah.
And then he's gunned it for the finish line jump, obviously where the timer starts. And then he's been on a heater for all of 1.5 seconds.
He's probably put his mind into go mode and wasn't thinking about anything else. And all of a sudden there's another Kawasaki in his way.
Yeah, looking down at his get ignition on the front fender.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who knows, man, what was going through his mind. But, yeah, you got to watch where you're going. All right.
Yeah.
Second moment that I wanted to pick your brain about, and I think you know what my position is going to be on this, but Deegan on Anstie.
It was just unnecessary. I'd say that's the word you'd be looking for that.
Yeah, that's the polite word for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's Supercross. There is going to be contact, but if it's just Deegan. It's in his nature for some reason that contact has to be made and the rider has to go down when he's going for the lead or he's going for a pass.
I think there's probably a bit more of it than that. I'd say, with a fair degree of confidence that he might be feeling a bit threatened that Max is a legitimate championship contender. And so rather than just pass him and make up a couple of points, if you can put him on the ground, you can make that a lot harder for Max. If they had beef, I'd have no problem with it. If he was rider on a different team, I would say that's still harsh. And I know there's no, quote, teammates. But ultimately, if Deegan goes on to have an injury in the season, the one person you want to win the championship for your team is going to be your teammate.
Yeah, and as a guy you've invited to come and ride your track during the week.
Yeah. So for me, that was complete dog shit, really. And then I saw a view afterwards where it's one of the drone shots, and you can see he's on the far left-hand side of the track, and coming into a left-hand turn, he cuts across to the right and goes to the far outside, and then obviously pivots the rear end straight into Max's front wheel. It looks even worse from that angle because he changes direction. And then to say, oh, it was an accident, I'm like, at least own it.
Yeah, that's it. If you're going to do it, own it.
Yeah, I went for a pass. I didn't mean to put him on the ground, and it happened. But you can't just go, oh yeah, I didn't mean that. Yes, you did.
The one thing Hayden did have going for that move did give him the red plate, because I think
by 1 point.
Yeah, by 1 point. From what I listened to today, it looks like when Anstie went down, he bent his clutch lever too far down to really be able to use the rest of the race. So I was trying to work out why Anstie didn't. I thought he'd catch back up and maybe get back, not catch Deegan, but get himself back to second spot.
He was very gentlemanly in his post-race interview as well.
Yeah, that was That sounded like somebody saying happy things, but on the inside ready to kill somebody.
Yeah. That's a good summary, I think. Yeah. The words were nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah. Anyway, I think this may not be the end of it, which, as much as I feel bad for Anstie, to be done like that, it may make for a more exciting season coming, moving forward.
And it will be an exciting season too, because now the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders, probably 6 riders behind Deegan in points, all hate him. If he's in a position they've got a chance to even semi-clean him out, they're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I guess if he wanted a challenge this year, he's definitely given himself a challenge for the title because he's got no friends left on track.
Yeah. The other one that I thought is doing awesome.
Mosman?
Piano
player.
Yes. Yeah, the piano man. Stoked to see him, having some good races and keeping it upright and having some good pace too.
It's actually a class full of guys that you're actually enjoying watching have some good rides, like Di Francisco.
Yep.
Another kid, another young phenomenon looks like he's finally putting it together.
Volan's doing really well. He's stepped it up
exceptionally well. Yeah, it's Yoda with some of the. Is he the one, Yoda with his knee issues?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the meniscus.
Yeah, and just seeing other riders. I know obviously Lux Turner's still coming off his Australian injury, but he's putting in some solid results for somebody who's only just got sort of back on the bike. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stories through that 250 class already.
And if Deegan doesn't run away with it, I think there's a lot of guys that can throw a hat in the ring.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very tight. Either Deegan runs away with it, or if Kitchen can get himself out of that first corner, I think he's been quickest on track. I think he's been the best of the riders. Would really love to see Kitchen and Deegan go for it at the front of the field, just for at least one race before the East-West races start. Just to see what they can throw at each other.
But I mean, I think the odds are, because these guys are all young, they're impatient, apart from Anstie, obviously. But like you said, they've all got beef with Deegan. And at some point this season, someone's going to have a crack at him. And if both riders go down, it's going to be game on for all of them, I think. If it keeps going the way it's going. So as far as the point situation goes. So, yeah, I'm here for it. I think it's potentially going to be one of the best 250 seasons that we've seen in a long time if Deegan doesn't run away with it.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Yeah, and I'm really, really looking forward to East Coast as well. Cole Davies, obviously going to be awesome. I'm going to claim him as our guy, but Brodie Connolly, he's another Kiwi. He's going to be over there. And Caden Manier as well. So
Future start this weekend, don't they?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about was just the race schedule for Australia. I think most of the dates are out now. Yeah, we've got our Pro-MX dates. I think we've both got the Victorian and South Australian State Series dates. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the schedule so far?
Well, they actually quite like the look of the Oz Pro-MX schedule for this year. It starts sort of late March like we normally do, but it's all over and done with in the first 2 days of August. So looks like they've tried to condense the series down a bit more again. I think
that's to accommodate the MXGP, I think.
Yeah, and I guess it will also benefit all the Supercross riders too. Give them all the riders a bit more time to prepare heading into Supercross. But no, I quite like it. It looks like there's a 2 to 3 week break between most rounds in the first half of the season, a little bit of a mid-season break, and then it finishes off real quick.
Yeah, we've got 3 rounds within 4 weekends. So,
4 weekends, to finish off the season, yeah.
Yeah, so I like that.
A nice little trip from Victoria down to Queensland.
Yeah. I must say I don't dig that. I think, the way they mix it up where you go Victoria, so it's Victoria, Canberra, South Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland. Not a fan of that. I think having it moving around the East Coast would be better.
It could definitely help though. I guess most people, as long as there's a 2 to 3 week break, most people are going to be heading home no matter what. And I guess most riders don't have a spare bike they can just leave close to the racetrack like the next round. So yeah, it'd sort of be good to have it flow from one end to the other, but it doesn't probably make too much of a difference
at the end of the day. Yeah,
they know.
Not when
I
you've
know
got a 2 or 3 week. I think you'd have to change the schedule as well a little bit to accommodate that.
You want them more back to back.
Yep.
And then it becomes hard for people to spend the whole week down there anyway. A lot of people have to get back to work during the week, no matter how many week break you've got.
I mean, I think it would be like we saw that when we had the last 3 rounds in Queensland. A lot of the Victorians went up, took their bikes up, left the trailer and the bike up there, like the race bike, flew home, did some training and then flew back up. So I think
could definitely work at the end of the season, yeah.
Yeah. But even if you had, the 2 Victorian rounds back to back, maybe Canberra and New South Wales, the 3 Queensland, and then just throw the South Australian, you out there South Australian guys, throw that South Australia round in there somewhere.
We can just put it with the Victoria. We can go Victoria, South Australia, Victoria again.
Yeah.
That's not too far to travel. No. It's only 8 hours is nothing.
That's it. So, what are your plans? What are you covering this year? Are you going to do some of the Pro MX? Are you doing off-roads? Are you doing the State Series? Are you doing all of them? What's your plans?
A big mixture of everything, and I want to do more Pro MX. Just waiting for one more calendar in South Australia to come out for our SA off-roads, and then I'll be able to nail down exactly what Pro MX rounds I'm going to be at. But at this stage, I'll be at all the Australian Enduro rounds again. I want to obviously shoot that and do a little bit more coverage on that side of the racing in our country.
Yep.
From there, I think my next priority will be the SA off-roads, SA motocross after that, and then obviously Pro MX. At this stage, I've locked in the first 3 rounds of Pro MX.
Yep.
And then I'll sort of semi-take it from there. I'll sort of, at this stage, tie it in a lot with Jaden's racing because he's got a couple more years of junior racing left. So I want to obviously support my son as much as I can while I'm building my coverage up a bit more. So, at this stage, mainly off-roads. And now he's old enough to race MX3. We can take him with us. He can do practice qualifying and run the non-qualifiers event at the end of the day. So we'll squeeze some more Pro MX in. And then obviously at the end of the year, with the way the calendar's looking, I'll be able to get to every round of Supercross. So that we're the plan at the end of the year. Just got to wait for their dates to come out.
Yeah.
And yourself, you're going to be a busy man again?
I am. And this year, the way they've done the calendars with the Pro MX, the State Series, and then our regional racing, it's kind of, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. So last year, between the regional races and the Pro MX, there was a lot of clashes. So the 2 biggest regional races that I typically would like to cover are the Gippies, so the Gippsland World Championships, as they call them down here, because they take it all pretty seriously, and the Sandmaster Series. But this year, they've basically filled all the gaps, so I think there's only 1 round clash between a Pro MX and the Gippsland Series. So
cool.
I think there's about a 5-month period from when the Vics kick off to the end of the Vic Series at the end of August. So what's that, 5 solid months, where if I wanted to, I could work every weekend except maybe 3. So, it may end up being a busy year. I'm obviously committed to doing all the Pro MX rounds and all the Vics. And if it goes well, I'll do all the Gippy Series as well as the Sandmasters. So it's going to be a busy year.
Nice. And those weekends off, I'm guessing one of those will be Hattah weekend, so you might as well join me out there for that.
That would be very cool.
and then, one of these other weeks might end up being a national off-road round, so we need to drag you out into the bush and come and shoot between the trees with me for a weekend.
Well, when I see your photos, I get a bit of FOMO. I must admit, I've shot a little bit at Hattah before, but I've never done an actual off-road round. So, and the photos in the trees with the light, the sand, I must admit they look pretty awesome. I do get FOMO.
It's a different type of shooting, but I love it. Just some different backgrounds. I think the biggest stress is a little bit more stressful going to those because you just got to hope that you can go and find some spots with enough light and still enough atmosphere to shoot back into.
Yep.
So we'll get you out to a couple for sure.
That'd be fun. And then with the podcast, the goal this year is to try to have virtually an episode every week to make that a little bit more consistent. Getting in the process of getting a couple more sponsors on board. I can probably use a couple more if there's anyone out there that's keen to get on board. But beyond that, I've got some really great guests lined up. I'm consolidating the shows a little bit, so we're going to have a couple of different formats. But a lot less than we've had in the past. So we'll have our Inside the Helmet, which are one-on-one interviews with riders. our industry guest podcasts, which are always popular. And, I won't say who's coming on yet, but stay tuned because we've got some really good guests lined up for those. We're going to be bringing back the Women in Moto podcast with Charlotte Beryl. So that'll be the first time that gets hosted on the Mental4Moto podcast. So that'll be great. And I'm looking forward to announcing some more news about that. And then everything else, all our review shows, a lot of the ones that we do together, they're going to come under the format of just the Mental4Moto show. So that'll be everything else from rumours to event coverage to silly season talk. They'll all come under the same banner and same artwork. So basically, we're going to have 4 formats. And it should be a really, really good year. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
It sounds like you're going to keep yourself very busy.
That's the plan. I go a bit stir crazy if I've got nothing to do. I'm not sort of one of those guys that can just sit by the pool and drink a beer and do nothing. I've got to keep the brain ticking over. So I'm my own worst enemy with it, but it also keeps me sane. So
no, you do a great job of it, and there's always plenty of great content out there. So I look forward to seeing all your work again and joining you on a few podcasts along the way.
Oh, for sure. Yo. We hope you're enjoying the show. Here at Mental4Moto, we can only do what we do because of the sponsors who support us. So please stay tuned for a couple of brief ads and make sure you show these legends some love. Are you getting arm pump? Fatiguing after just a few laps? Or feel like you're often fighting against your bike? Today's motorcycles have been designed and built to suit a broad range of riders, conditions and riding styles. This one-size-fits-all approach, however, means that when it comes to your own riding, your bike is often not handling and performing at its very best. Whether you're a weekend warrior or an elite level racer, Fastline Suspension will help you unlock your riding potential by ensuring your bike is set up perfectly for your specific needs. And with the right setup, you're guaranteed to go faster, fatigue less, and ultimately have more fun riding your motorcycle. So what are you waiting for? Contact Adam at Fastline Suspension now. Fastline Suspension, set up for maximum performance, precision tuned for you. The warmer months are nearly here, and there's nothing more refreshing after a day at the track when you're sweaty, grimy and exhausted than taking a dip in the pool. Southeast Pools specialise in building high-quality fiberglass and concrete swimming pools across the Peninsula and Gippsland region and offer a range of designs to suit every lifestyle, yard size and budget. So pick up that phone, give Trav at Southeast Pools a call today and be ready to take the plunge this summer. At Mental4Moto, our mission is to give the unsung heroes of Aussie motocross a voice. From grassroots racing right through to the biggest events in the country, sharing the stories you won't hear anywhere else. From the privateer chasing the dream, to the junior rider who is pushing for their first win, the mechanic who works late into the night to get the bike ready for race day, to the track builder who turns a pile of dirt into a work of art. This is the beating heart of our sport. We're able to bring these stories every week to thousands of Aussie Moto fans thanks to the generous sponsors who share our vision. If you're interested in the advertising packages that we have available, or just want to show your support, please check out our website, www.mental4moto.com, and we can tailor a package to suit your needs. Now, let's get on with the show. Well, we'll keep this episode relatively short and sweet. It was just a bit of an icebreaker for the 2026 season. So, to round it out, let's go into some of the silly season stuff. There's a lot of movers and shakers in the Aussie scene this year. We've got some riders that won't be coming back and racing, notably Brodie Connolly, who's, I think, signed now for 2 years in the US, which will be awesome to see where he can take it. And Luke Clout, who I think is confirmed now with PRMX Kawasaki in the US, and I think he's going to be doing some World Supercross stuff as well. So, there's a lot of riders changing teams and stuff, though. You know, what have you heard? Is there anything that sort of stands out for you?
No, obviously being South Australia, we don't hear or see too much. I did see a well-known South Australian on a Ducati 450 on the weekend.
Oh, talk to me.
His first outing and having a bit of a ride, so he was in public, so everybody seen him out there. So Brett Metcalf was riding a Ducati 450. I had a brief chat to him. He hasn't given too much away. I think a few weeks' time we'll get some more information out. But yeah, it looks like it'll be a bit of a different type of program than what people are probably expecting. So I think we might just have to wait and see. But there will be a couple of Ducatis racing in Australia at various events from the sounds of it.
Yep. Are we going to see a Ducati in the Pro MX, do you think?
I'm not sure, but from the little he did say, it didn't sound like he'll be running a Pro MX program.
Yeah.
Or if it is, maybe they pop up here or there. But at the moment, it doesn't sound like that's part of what they're planning. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more details soon. But yeah, I think it was his first day on the bike, so I think he was just having a bit of a ride just to see how the bike felt himself.
How did the bike look?
It looked good. It's funny. Obviously, you see, I seen somebody come out on track, and I was like, well, that sounds different. I noticed it was a Ducati. And I was like, is that Brett? And I was like, I'm not sure. And then Jaden, my son's like, oh, it's in rat gear. He's got M2R helmets. Oh, it probably is. And there's the S-bend section in the middle of Gilman, which comes out, and it's pretty much where the start of all those rollers through the bend are. And he's come out and he's hit the first roller and sort of doubled into him, which nobody else is getting close to.
Yeah.
And it's only on the second lap. It's like, yeah, there's only one person in the state with the type of skills that can just roll around on a bike and hit that. It's like, yeah, that's definitely Brett. So yeah, the bike looked good. Up close, it's funny because I've seen the Ducati a few times up close. Just at some, they had one at Hadar last year, and the bike looks like another motocross bike. It's not until you really take a close look at the engine, and it looks like a big motor.
Yes, it does.
Like an old Hasselberg or something along those lines. It takes up a fair bit of room. Looks like it might be a little bit heavy in the front of the bike, but Brett said the chassis felt really good. First time the suspension, so I felt a little bit soft for him, but no, it was it was good to see another brand out there anyway.
Yeah, for sure. They'll get that sorted in no time. I think Ducati, if they're known for anything, it's having a quality product. So
yeah,
and
seen what it's done in the Worlds in America already. So
yeah, and I don't think they're going to do anything to jeopardize their reputation of being a premier motorcycle brand. So they'll be throwing everything in the kitchen sink at that bike, I think, to make sure it's performing for the riders, whichever riders they end up getting. So the reason I asked for the Pro MX is because I've basically, between things that have been confirmed and, the rumours and the rumour mill, I've tried to fill in all the gaps and try to figure out who's going to be where this season. And with Ducati coming onto the scene, I couldn't think of anyone, to put it bluntly, that would be worthy of an MX1 ride that is left over, that hasn't got a ride already lined up. So, I guess that makes sense then. If they're unlikely to be out at Pro MX, unless the Australia, who actually brings Ducati into Australia? Is Ducati Australia? I'm not even sure how they work in terms of importing into Australia. Yeah, and there has to be a certain number for them to be allowed to race as well, because it is a production class or series.
Yeah, one of those things, those rules, I probably should know, but
I think when Triumph started last year, I think someone told me there has to be at least 25 production bikes in the country for them to be allowed to call it a production class. Okay. So it may be a bit soon for there to be 25 Ducatis, maybe?
Yeah, no, I think a company like Ducati wouldn't struggle to sell, or at least bring in 25.
They just have to bring them in. They could be sitting in a shop.
I couldn't see that being a hassle.
I don't think they'll have any problem selling them either. There's definitely some brand loyalty out there, and if you've already got one Ducati or had a Ducati, you're usually not short of $1. So
no, that's it. And they're a nice looking and a nice sounding bike.
Yeah.
You see it with every bike that comes to this country. There's always a group that are hell bent on getting on them as soon as possible, and I'm sure before we know it, there'll be a handful of them at most tracks around the country.
Yeah. Come sort of late February, early March, we'll do a bit of a preview show for the Pro MX season, so we won't dig into it too deep, but we'll just go through each of the teams and see if we can sort of fill those gaps between the confirmed riders and the rumour mill. So starting with Empire Kawasaki, there is some news there, obviously, which has been around for a little while now, but the return of Dean Ferris.
Yes, looking forward to seeing Dean return to the race scene. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what to expect. I think it's going to be hard to try and think if he's going to be able to get up with Webster and Beaton straight away.
I 100% think he will. If we go back to 2022, when Dean Ferris won the championship on the Brisbane Motorcycles Yamaha, he was clearly the best rider, I think, in the Australian series. Like, clearly the best rider in the field. he was doing things at some races that no one else was doing. He was a step above. Since then, I think undeniably Webster and Beaton have elevated year after year, especially the last 2 years.
Yep.
Beaton's a bit of a question mark because he's coming off a broken femur. But have they elevated enough is my question.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out at the start of March. Yeah. And again, I think it's going to be the same as every year. The first round's going to be the hard to tell, being Beaton and Webster's home track at Wonthaggi.
Yep.
So I think no matter what, I think we go into the first round and those two are probably going to be running 1-2. If Dean's even close to them in that first round, it's going to be a great series for the rest of the year because I think it'll be really tight between the three of them after that. So yeah, we're just going to wait to March. It can't come quick enough at the moment.
Yeah, and Dean's done well at Wonthaggi in the past anyway, so it seems to be a track that suits him. He's going to be joined by Brad West on the 450 at Empire, so that's a big signing as well for Empire. Two interesting riders, and it's like you said, sort of don't know exactly what to expect.
No, I'm glad West has got the opportunity to go there on the 450. Keep thinking of a kid, but he isn't. He's a young man now, and he's got a bit of height about him as well. So, no, it'd be good to see him get that opportunity and see what he can do in Australia because we haven't really seen him too much since he's left junior racing.
He obviously did the supercross, but I think motocross is a different animal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the 250 squad is now separated from Empire. They're running under JPM Kawasaki, which is Jed Parsons Motorsport. So they're running an MX2 and the MXW side of that team. With MX2, it's not officially announced yet, but as you so aptly pointed out, that sharp eye, the post that they did with the bike does show a number 7, which suggests that maybe Jace Cosford is going to be on the team.
And I think Zach messaged me and said, if you look close, you can actually see the name of the bike as well.
So, the question then is, who is going to be joining Jace on the JPM Kawasaki?
That is a good question. I'm hoping you've heard more than me because
I've heard some rumours. I've heard rumours which suggest that maybe Ryan Alex Anderson is going to come back.
Okay, cool.
You know, he did well, was battling with Brodie Connolly. That was last year, wasn't it? Yeah. Early last year before going back to Europe. And Taylor McCutcheon, I think, will be doing their MXW, covering their MXW class. So she'll be back and flying the flag there.
What about MX3 for Kawasaki then? Have we heard anything? Are they going to have any riders out of that truck for MX3 or is it just sort of going to be a non-existing thing for Kawasaki?
So all that I've heard is that they're going to be supporting individual riders under the Team Green banner in MX3, cool. But I don't think, from what I've heard, that there is going to be an official team per se. All right, Honda, the big rigs.
Big rigs.
Yeah.
2 very big rigs.
Yes, and coffees. Yep, the rig that just brings the coffee machine around. Cole Webster, returning champion. I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. He's back. He's had some carpal tunnel surgery. By all accounts, he's loving it. He can feel his hands again, which was a big issue last year. I think he's going to be, immediately stepping into that position as being a favourite. But who's going to join him on the 450? So there was a lot of rumours flying back and forth about this, but latest I've heard, and I don't think it's confirmed yet, but it looks like Wilson Todd's going to be back on the 450 because there was some talk that we may see him on a 250.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to work out as well. I know Larwood is in South Australia at the moment. I haven't seen him out riding. Well, has ridden a couple of times locally, but he's been on a 250. I thought maybe he might have been an option to go to 450, but yeah, I haven't heard anything either way. So I'm guessing he'll be on the 250 with a Kingsford. I don't know, 1 or 2.
Two.
2? 2.
I mean, it's the world's worst kept secret. It's not officially announced yet, but I think we're expecting an announcement any day that, the 2 Kingsford brothers are going to be racing MX2 together under the Honda tent. Yeah,
I haven't heard anything official. Last thing I heard was maybe a rider was staying at Yamaha, and if he has moved over to Honda, who does that leave Yamaha with?
I've had one that I've been sworn to secrecy on in the Yamalube 250 side of the team. But Kai Woods is going to be racing MX2.
Yep.
And there'll be another rider that's coming over to race, a new rider for Yamaha that was not on a Yamaha previously, I think. So
you got me intrigued now. So
yeah. I can tell you off air. The listeners will have to wait. That's one that I think we'll sit on. And obviously for 450, it'll be Aaron Tanti and Jed Beaton, of course.
Bring back, yeah. I knew their 450 lineup was already solid and sealed.
Yeah.
250. I really had no idea. I've been trying to find out, but I've actually heard nothing at all. So I'm very interested to see who the second rider is going to be.
Yeah,
and even their MX3 squad, I'm quite curious to see how that lines up and who's left over there as well.
Yeah, I think the MX3, obviously that's something we can leave for our review pod, but there is so much movement in the MX3 with those guys moving up to, I think there's 18 moving up to MX2, and then some juniors entering the MX3 ranks. That's just going to be, it's going to be an entirely new class, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of changes coming into MX3, and there'll probably be some new guys we haven't seen too much on the national stage move up into that class as well, coming out of junior, or still in juniors, sort of coming out to the end of their junior career. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, KTM, Nathan Crawford and Zach Watson. No real surprises there.
Nice solid lineup.
MX2, Dylan Walsh and Byron Dennis, and I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to chuck this on my stories if it ends up happening. So it's currently the 19th of January 2026, and I'm calling Dylan Walsh as the 2026 MX2 champion.
And I can officially tell everybody that you called this even earlier, because last time we spoke, just generally you were singing Walsh's praises, and you let me know you think he's going to be the man to beat already.
It's the silly season hype, mate, and I don't say that lightly because, obviously the Kingsford brothers and there's a few other killers in the MX2 class. But Dylan Walsh is officially, and you can stamp it, flying at the test track.
Flying at the test track.
Yeah.
Well, that is a big call. I don't doubt he's got the talent and the speed, because he is a world-class rider. But those Kingsford boys and Larwood are quite quick as well, so...
What's going to be super interesting there, and I'm just assuming that the Kingsford boys are going to stay on the same program, Dylan Walsh and the Kingsford boys will all be training on the Beaton's Pro Formula program together.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if you want a cooking pot that's going to inspire performance and effort, I mean, that's it. You've got Jed Beaton, Kyle Webster, the Kingsford brothers, Dylan Walsh. I mean,
Larwood trains with them as well, doesn't he? And
yep. There is a lot of riders there that are potential champions. He is becoming Australia's Alden Baker in a way.
Yeah, no, he's got a good program going down there, and I think it helps, especially coming into that first round. It sort of sets the tone for the year, and with their experience of riding there and riding together, I think we've seen it the last 2 years. Nobody's been able to touch, especially qualifying times, Webster or Beaton.
Yep.
And the 250 classes has generally been riders from down that way as well.
So do you see anyone else, like obviously Ferris is a bit of an unknown. Do you see anyone else challenging Webster and Beaton in the MX1 class? Not
at this stage. Obviously Crawford has the talent, and at rounds will run with him and can possibly beat him. I don't think would be unexpected. To see him do it round in, round outs, something he's yet to prove, but the talent's there. But yeah, it's hard to go past those two. Obviously, Ferris coming in makes it a little bit more interesting and throws in another aspect, which we'll have to sort of wait and see how it unfolds. But yeah, Ferris obviously has the talent to run with those two as well. But other than those four, can't leave out Tanti.
Oh yeah, Tanti and Wilson Todd.
And Tanti's one of those guys who, once he's back up to speed, is again as good as any of them.
Yep.
And he's one of those guys. I think the more you sort of count him out and not thinking about him, is when he can come and deliver and sort of remind everybody, is like, hang on, don't forget about me. I'm here to win as well.
Yeah, former champion.
Yeah. So no, I think it'll be a good. We at least been going into the season thinking a good four to five rider battle for the series going in, and then who knows? Yeah, maybe somebody surprises.
And I mean, Zach Watson as a privateer was a top 5 guy, Now that he's got factory support, some time under his belt on the KTM, is he going to step it up? And he's only a young guy too, and put a charge on and get in amongst these guys as well. Like, I think he has the potential.
Yeah, and that's why I think we need to. Hopefully, we'll see the guys like Watson and West, and there's probably a couple others I can't think about at the moment. Hopefully, they do make that next step up and can battle with those guys, even if it's not every single race, but just have their moments where they're pushing that speed and can continue to grow.
Yeah. Cody O'Lone, he's one of the movers. He's gone to the Caloundra Motorcycles beta on the 450. So that's going to be very cool to see. They are such a cool looking bike.
Yeah, they are a good looking bike. And Caloundra they've had some good support, like a good team support over the last few years. So it's a nice place for him to land as well.
Yep. And look, we've spoken about it on the podcast. I think there was a big question. We all knew Reese Budd was desperately looking for a 450 ride. I'm hearing a rumour that he is going to potentially be on a 450 beta as well.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, so I'll keep my eyes peeled to Instagram, see if we can sneak any photos of him riding one around. But no, that would be cool if he lands on there. It'd probably be a good addition to the brand.
Yeah, good opportunity, and for him and what he's capable of, a fairly low pressure environment, hopefully, which I think will inspire the best results out of him as well.
Yeah, and I guess Wilson Todd, if he's up to speed and feeling it, I think there'll be rounds where he might be another 450 rider we could add to the mix as well.
Well, he finished the last 3 rounds on the podium last year with a win at QMP after a questionable last corner pass on the champion to be Cole Webster, who's also his teammate. Just caught him napping a little bit.
So the MX1 lineup's actually the more you're looking to it, the stronger it seems to be.
Yeah.
But again, I think the red and the blue bike are going to be the two to beat.
Yeah, obviously when we do the review show, we'll look at some of the privateers a little bit more and some of the satellite teams. I think there's probably going to be a couple of satellite teams that we won't see this year. And from what I'm hearing, potentially a couple of new satellite teams popping up. So I think the sport, I was originally a little bit concerned that some of those satellite teams were going to drop off. Obviously, it's pretty hard to run a team, and with the expense and the cost of living and the cost of doing business these days. So it's good to see a couple of new teams that will be coming into the mix as well.
Yeah, and obviously we've probably haven't mentioned Raceline Husqvarna either. I'm not sure what they've got planned, if Waters has come back to race again or.
I've got my ear to the ground. I'm talking to people. They're one, maybe because they're based in Queensland. I have not heard anything as to what they're going on. I mean, we could speculate, but yeah, is Regan Duffy going to be back? I'm going to be tipping that Todd Waters will be riding again. But beyond that, I haven't heard anything.
No, I might have to start asking some questions myself. We're starting to get at the point of the year where things should just about be finalised. Probably expecting a lot more team press releases and announcements to come. I thought some of them might have already come by now, being the 19th of January. So you'd think everything should be well and truly formed within the next week at the latest.
Yep. The one rider I haven't heard anything about, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, it's Noah Ferguson.
Unless he's trying to line up something overseas. But no, I haven't heard anything at all.
Yeah. It's, he's got the speed to be a championship contender. But yeah, haven't heard anything.
I think everything we need to know hopefully should be answered within the next
couple of
2
weeks.
I reckon. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, we'll leave it there and we'll reconvene. If anyone knows anything or has heard anything, please DM me and we'll add it to our next show. All right. Anything else, Az, before we move on? I think we've kept this one pretty short and sharp.
We have for once. We've only been on the phone for an hour and a half at the moment, so it's been pretty good for us.
That's about a quarter of the usual time.
Yes, which I sort of need. I've got to get up from my daily 4:30 a.m. start to go and work the full-time job. I've got to find a way to reduce the hours there and put more into my moto content. I think I just got to stop paying for this kid to race myself, and I'll be laughing.
So
need to find a few more sponsors on that department as well. So.
Yeah, he might go pro, mate. You Yep, and keep you accustomed to the life of poverty that you're accustomed to. So,
No, I already told him he's got until he's finished year 12. I'll help him out as much as I can until then, and then he's on his own. He can go make some money and pay me back.
yeah, that'd be cool. Alrighty, well, that brings us to the end of this episode. We've got a big year planned, both of us, so make sure you subscribe to Mental4Moto and More Than Moto, and turn on your notifications for Mental4Moto on your favourite podcast app so you can keep up to date with future shows. Massive thanks, Az. It's been awesome just to have a bit of an icebreaker to get the 2026 podcast season underway.
Thanks for having me on. It's always good to chat moto, whether it be supercross, motocross, rumours, American, world. I reckon I'm going to get a lot more into the world motocross league, back into that again this year as well. So
that'd be cool.
To every single podcast available after A1. So I'm well and truly back on the moto bandwagon.
Well, mate, if you're getting up at 4 a.m. to watch the races, you're definitely committed.
Oh, it's been what I've always done. A1, you can't help it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No.
What else are you going to do? Sleep's overrated.
That's it. We can sleep when we're dead.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks to our partners for this episode, Fastline Suspension, Southeast Pools, Wolf Building Compliance, Iro Helmets, and Ultimate Toy Haulers. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. On behalf of Mental4Moto, I've been your host, Pete Wolf. Until next time, see ya.